rock the mic, we're gonna do it like this.
Every time.
We're gonna do it like this, we do it like that.
Like that and like.
Guaranteed to cause a heart attack.
One life is the one I like five. Truth get exposed where the real wants to lie. Stories on the rise, plug in, tune up, let your soul be advised. One life is the one I like five. Truth get exposed.
Advertising on the radio said my name. I had no jokes. I didn't let him know that.
Not one joke.
Not one. You have to do like with anything else. You have to practice it. You have to be on stage 2-3 times a week. If you're a working comic, you should be able to do any kind of room.
Do you have any relations to Steve Harvey?
Right, I get that all the time. How do you network in the game? One of the ways I network in the game is simply, I was a comedian who had a car. A car take you a long way.
Yeah.
I think that if you're kind and receptive at anything that you do, it opens up a whole world of opportunity.
All right, cool. Welcome back to the One Life Podcast, man.
Yes.
We are back with another great episode of the One Life Podcast, where we bring some great talent to the world, man, showcasing talent. OG talent. Today we have the honor, man, of being in the studio with an OG.
Yes.
We got an OG talent, a vet in the studio today, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I met this guy. I met this guy when I started doing my comedy, man. I actually went to one of his shows at the world famous Scotty's Comedy Lounge. He was performing for world famous Scotty, and he seen me in the crowd. He thought I was a rap artist or some shit. You know what I mean? He said, "Look at these rap artists over here." I was like, "All right, nigga, you just don't know, man." Right. But ever since then, man, we built the relationship, man. He gained a liking with me, and I gained his trust when it comes to getting 5 minutes on that mic, you know what I'm saying? Right. And now he's here rocking with us on the mic on the One Life Podcast, man. Everybody give a warm welcome to my man, Mr. Shawn Harvey!
Yeah. The One Life Podcast. That's what I'm talking about. First of all, I'm super excited. Yeah, let's toast up. I'm gonna drink some water because I got to drive.
Yeah.
First of all, toast up to the One Life Podcast. I am super excited to be here. We are in the building, man. Thank you so much for having me here on this beautiful afternoon. Out here where we live in Pennsylvania, where we back in the mountains somewhere where you're at.
Yeah.
I live more city-like, and the weather's been we've been having a real winter.
Yeah.
And ice, snow, rain, fog and all that. So it's good to come out on this beautiful afternoon to hang out with you. I consider you one of my nephews, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing about that is when you talk about comedy and comedians, it's always good to reach out to newer comedians that you can tell that have interest in the game and love the game of comedy, because when I was new, cats reached out to me. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't for cats reaching out to me and guiding me and showing me what it is or helping me with a joke or, hey, listen, here's a show tonight. That's very important to a comedian.
Absolutely.
When other veteran comedians show them love unconditionally. And, that's life. That's life. That's what we should do in life.
Right.
Show each other love. So I saw you on stage at the world famous Scotty. You was on stage doing whatever you were doing.
Yeah, that was probably my first year, second year.
and I was like, wow, look at the potential. And we've been friends ever since, and I appreciate you. And that's what it's about. It's about relationships. It's about co-workers. It's about mutual respect. It's about that funny. And I see you growing in the game. And I wish you the best.
Amen. So let's get right into it. We here with Shawn Harvey, man. We here to talk about Shawn Harvey's journey. When did comedy start for Shawn Harvey?
Comedy started. I like the way he goes directly into the questions. So intense. Like he pulling me over for a stop. Like you got police voice.
I was in the military. Right, yeah. I did football.
That's what it is. See, military, football, you got that whole thing. Like I'm ready to go 10 hook. Comedy started for me, like I think like most people, you're around funny.
Yeah.
And for me, it started in school, honestly. My mom's was funny. Like, I always thought my mother was funny. She was doing a lot of weird things as a kid. Yeah. But when I got into school, especially particularly like junior high school, that's where the funny started into high school. And because I was I used to snap a lot, snapping, jonesing, hiking, snapping, whatever. Right. We called it snapping in New York.
Right.
So it started there because I became a good snapper because the kids used to snap on me.
Right.
So that's where the organic funny started. And then what happened was, as I got older, right. My man used to cut my hair. The barber that used to cut my hair when I had hair.
Right.
Shout out to my ex-wife. She took the afro in the divorce.
Yeah. Don't blame the women, man. Blame it on alcohol.
She had a barber in the courtroom.
Yeah.
She's like, I want the afro. So that's why I don't have an afro.
Right.
Shout out to that.
You used to have an afro. I got
used to have an afro. Yeah, it was gone. It was in the settlement.
Yeah, you ain't have no Jerry curls or nothing?
Yeah, I used to have that back in the day. Waves, all that.
Yeah.
And then my man used to be a barber. He used to cut my hair. He used to cut my son hair back in the day.
Right.
But he was doing stand-up part-time.
Got you.
So while, we up there laughing and joking in the barbershop, what dudes do, I wish they still do today. I mean, I haven't been in a barbershop in 30-something years.
Right.
But
that's where the jokes
But that's where the fun, sometimes it's funny in the barbershop. You always got that one dude in the barbershop. So my barber was the comedian. Mm-hmm. And I used to snap on him and we all used to talk, he'd laughing and joking.
What was his name?
His name was Jigga. Jigga the comedian.
Like Jay-Z, yeah.
Yeah. Like Jay-Z, and may he rest in peace. Jigga just passed away.
Rest in peace.
My the guy that introduced me to comedy, and may he rest in peace. And he told me one day, he was like, yo, man, I think you're funny. You should go on stage and do stand-up. Now, I never knew anything about the stand-up process. Like, I wasn't a historian in stand-up, I'll be honest. Like, a lot of comedians, they watched a lot of stand-up and they got a lot of history in stand-up. And I was never that guy.
Yeah, I watched a lot of stand-up as a kid. Right. I just didn't have the opportunity that you about to talk about.
Right. So because I didn't have that, I was sort of like thrust into comedy.
Right.
So he was like, yo, come to the show and blah, blah, blah. And prior to that, I really didn't go to comedy shows. I might have went to 1 or 2 comedy shows in my life.
Right.
But I was always funny.
Who was the main stars around the time that you was jumping in the game?
The comedians, it's weird. Some of the comedians I work with today, like Comedian Talent and Capone and all these guys.
Shout out Talent, shout out Capone.
Yeah, all these guys, they were, when I was a new comedian, they were in the game. That's how long you'll be doing stand-up. And then Jigga invited me to the St. Nick's Pub. They used to do comedy on every Tuesday.
Right.
And that was on 146th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. Matter of fact, right across the street now from the world famous Comedy in Harlem. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay.
So, right. So it was called the St. Nick's Pub, and they did comedy every Tuesday. So the first Tuesday that he invited me, I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yep.
I didn't show up. I was scared.
Yeah, you got nervous. I got nervous my first time too. Go ahead, yeah.
Right, so when you get nervous, like you talk about, I didn't go. So the next time I saw in the barbershop, yo, man, you ain't come to them. What's up with you, man? You blah, 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 blah. So the next week I went.
Yeah.
And I got on stage and I wrote some material. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even use the material. I just said, hey, I'm here. I didn't even know what I was doing. I got a few laughs and I got off the stage. And that was the very first time that I did stand up.
Right.
At the St. Nick's Pub back in those days.
That's dope.
22 years ago.
Yeah, and you said you wrote some stuff down and you ain't even...
I didn't even use it.
It's almost like you couldn't even remember it. It was that...
When I got on stage, I still remember what the first thing I said on stage for comedians, if you want to be a comic or...
Right.
I said on stage, I'll never forget, I said, I had some stuff that I wrote down. I can't remember it. I'm nervous and I don't know what to say.
Right, yeah.
And when I said that, the crowd started laughing.
Yeah.
That was my first laugh. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
I went home to my then girlfriend back then, and I was like, yo, I made them laugh. And she was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Right. And then the next week I went back, because remember, it's every Tuesday.
Yeah.
I went back the next Tuesday, and that was the first time I got booed.
The next time that you went the second
time I went on stage to do stand-up, I got booed and yelled at.
Yelled at by some gangsters?
Nah, it was just people in the bar. You know, like how you got the regulars in the bar?
Yeah.
The people that's in the bar every day?
Yeah.
That come to the bar?
Yeah.
Sort of like Cheers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they got, and like Norm was like, yo, get him off the stage.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart. That broke my heart. And then I stopped doing comedy for a few months because of that. Because I didn't know like how fragile that feeling is to, you know, for somebody to reject you and be so hypercritical of you. That's new. That's why that separates folks like us from folks that's in the office that make people laugh.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable.
Right.
But when you try to make somebody laugh that don't know you and paid money to see you.
And sitting there
it's a whole different situation. So that's kind of like my beginnings, that origin of stand-up.
Yeah.
For me.
Who was besides Jigga, who was another big like mentor in your comedy life coming up?
Right. So after Jigga, right, and these are comedians, and I'm gonna name comedians who most folks have never heard of, or some have. That some of them are grinding today, some of them aren't, some of them have passed on. I've been doing comedy a long time, but before I mention names like that, know that there's a underground, urban, or even mainstream, but let's keep it on urban. There's a urban circuit of comedians that are funny as hell that are not nationally known.
And why is that, do you feel?
Well, for various reasons. Now, it's nothing to take away from the top tier headliners that we all know, Mike Epps and all these guys, because they went through the same circuit as that I'm in.
Right.
So I applaud comedians like that leveled up and they got their break and they went on to stardom.
Right.
And then you have comedians that are on. See, there's different levels of comedy.
Right.
There's different levels of success in comedy. Right. So you got the theater dudes. You got the top tier theater guys. You got Michael Blackson, those guys who I actually
just opened up for Michael Blackson.
Just opened up for guys like that. And then you got guys like me that are in the underground urban circuit that work continuously. And when the big dogs call to open up, yo, what you doing? Come open up for me for a theater.
Right.
You got comedians who do cruise ships that you would never hear of, but have a successful career. Yeah. You got comedians that do clean comedy, gospel comedy, that you would never ever knew that this guy was doing, or women that was doing comedy for 20 years. You would never know who they are, but built a successful career in comedy. So success goes on different levels of stand-up.
That's right. In any sport too.
Right, any sport. So Jigga, I got with Jigga. Then I got with my man Cool Herm. And a lot of times, and my man, I love my man Herm. He taught me some jokes. And then after that, it was Smokey Suarez.
Yeah, shout out Smokey.
Yeah, Smokey. I love Smokey Suarez.
I performed with Smokey too.
Yes.
And he treated me real good too. Like I was in the I was at an event at Cakes, New York. I'm telling on everybody. It was Smokey there. It was Mr. I don't even want to name the other dude because he didn't want to take a picture with me.
Okay.
And Smokey took a picture with me. I was like, I went up there, opened the show.
Yeah.
It was my second year of comedy. They called me out. I did my thing, and I got on stage. I was with my photographer. You know, I be with my cameraman. I'm like, yo, let's take a picture. The one dude was playing Hollywood. Like, yeah, well, wait a minute. Smokey was like, come on, man, come on. Yeah. I was like, yeah. And then I took his info, and Roberto Vanderpool, he brought me in too. He took a picture. Come on. Yeah, good people.
Those are my brothers in the game. I developed, like when I mentioned like Jigga, who got me in the game, and Cool Herm, who took me to certain shows with him. But it was Smokey Suarez who taught me the funny, on how to be funny, how to do the punchlines, how to help me with the jokes, because I used to open up for Smokey Suarez and I used to co-host with Smokey.
Yeah. And
Smokey allowed me as a New Jack comedian to co-host with him at his weekly comedy shows.
Right.
In the Bronx at Cafe Luz and also at Mocha Lounge in Harlem. That's where I developed the funny. Also, comedian talent came into play.
Right.
And between the New York King talent and Smokey Suarez is where I developed being funny.
Right.
With them.
Gotcha.
That's where the funny came in. But how do you network in the game? One of the ways I network in the game is simply, I was a comedian who had a car.
Right. Simple.
A car take you a long way.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of comedians don't have cars.
Right.
So you become a driver for the comedian.
Yeah.
So I did that for years with certain comedians, and I wasn't getting paid. Right. But guess what I was getting paid with? The knowledge, the experience,
Yes.
Becoming funny, being in that circle, you know, and not being one of those like clickbaiters where I'm around a popular comedian, but I'm trying to get all his or her juice, getting some connections, you know, or trying to get with the big comedians. I didn't do that.
Right.
Because I wanted to learn how to be funny. Comparison to some comedians who want to follow along another comedian to try to get their juice or gain relationships and then move on.
Right.
So that's what happened with me.
And I feel like in that situation that you was talking about, those that do that, I feel like that 5-minute stardom don't really last too long.
Yeah.
Because once you get, it's like this. It's like playing with fire. And once the fire goes boom,
yeah,
and you're not ready for it, you know what I mean?
You know what I think it is too? Like, I'm one of those old school comedians before the social media comedians, before social media. So when I got into the game, social media just started, and we embrace it, of course. But I'm one of those comedians who actually went through the process of learning how to be funny,
right, through
the other comedians.
Through doing your homework.
And doing homeworks and doing my homework and writing the jokes. Like I became funny organically. I wasn't naturally funny, even though I was snapping a lot.
Right.
That gave me my core funny, but I was taught the technical part of comedy through these comedians. So yes, when I was a new comedian, but I wasn't allowed to go on a big stage yet because I wasn't ready. And the veteran comedians let you know that.
Yeah.
So you got to put the work in
to
get to that level to where you can do big shows, comparison to not having no material or not being that funny and get thrown on the show.
Right.
That's what you don't want. So a 2-minute bit, 5-minute bit, turn to a 7-minute bit, 10-minute bit. Now you started with 2 minutes on stage, 5 minutes on stage, 7 minutes on stage, 10, 15, 20, and whatever it goes to. So I'm a type of comedian. I could host, I could open, I could feature, and I can close.
Yes, sir.
But before all the years of doing stand-up.
Yeah. The One Life Podcast.
Also, Shawn Harvey, baby.
Also, with comedy, you got to be versatile. I do clean comedy, language comedy.
Right.
You got to do it all.
And did it take you time to get a clean set? Because, a lot of promoters, not a lot, but a few that I spoke to, in a recent past, they were like, oh, can you do a clean set? And I'm like, I'm kind of like really aggressive with my comedy and with how I come, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I feel like it takes time to really strategically hone a new set or a new way of producing your material.
Right.
What's your opinion on that? Like, did you start off clean? Did you start off not cussing and not saying nigga and bitch and all this shit?
Well, first of all, we're going to put a pause on not trying not to come.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, that takes time. Yeah, and you know what? And you was honest. I appreciate you. You got to just be more honest. Sometimes I get what you're saying, you're a little aggressive. It's okay to tell a promoter, no, I don't do clean comedy. I'm working on it. Because sometimes you get caught up in there and say, oh, I'll do a clean show, knowing you can't do it. Then you get jammed up at the show.
And let loose.
And then next thing you know, you try to stay clean, and then a subject matter come to your head, and then there's no turning back, and you're going to go right to that joke, and you're going to do the pussy, like it's going to be crazy. So yeah, it takes time. It takes time. So once you develop the funny and people know that you're funny, you know in your soul that you're funny, what happens is people start calling on you. Right. And they want to start booking you. Right. And then you'll get a call with a pastor calling, hey, listen, my niece said you were funny. Can you do it? Then I can't do it. And when that realization comes into play, that's when you go, let me work on my set. Right. Let me work on a clean version of what I'm doing. So now when folks call on me to do clean comedy, I'm able to do it. Right. So that takes time, because you don't want to put yourself in a position to where you're not getting those extra bookings because you can't do clean comedy. Now, there's nothing wrong with a comedian that don't do clean comedy. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're a working comic, you should be able to do any kind of room.
Right.
I mean, I can't do Spanish rooms. I don't know Spanish like that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if a pastor called me right now, yo, I'm there. How many times I've done church shows on a Friday in a church at 7:00, and I'm doing all my clean stuff, and 2 hours later I'm at the club
letting loose,
right, cursing and everything. So yes, you have to have some type of versatility
as you
in
grow.
the game if you want to, if you want to make money or be booked, or taken seriously,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
In the game,
absolutely. Do you remember what was your toughest show? Like when you first got started, like what was your toughest, like, oh shit, like, all right, here we go.
Okay. I love these questions, but I thought you was going to talk about the baby mothers.
We try to keep it, keep the closet clean, one life.
You are now watching the One Life Podcast.
That's a great question, because when I answered this question, this was one of those times in my comedy career where I stopped doing comedy because I wasn't ready. And it happened back in the day when I had no material. Because I could look at it now today and go, how did I even go on the stage? Like, I didn't even have any material back then.
Right.
And my cousin, God bless him, he was a comedy promoter, Christian comedy promoter. and the same thing. He go, yo, why don't you do some jokes?
Right.
And I was like, bet. And the show was at BB King's in downtown in Manhattan back in the day on Times Square. I don't know if you ever heard of that club, BB King's. It was like a famous jazz club.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you too young for that.
Yeah. I'm 29 still with no kids.
Young.
I'm about to be 30.
Yeah, you young as hell.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Amen.
When you was born, I was doing cocaine.
And crack.
Right.
That was y'all era. The OGs.
Yeah, no doubt.
But y'all survived to tell the story.
Let me tell you something. I'm out of the crew that I got high with, I'm still the only one alive. Thank God for Jesus.
Amen. We ain't bragging, but we just giving the knowledge.
So I did a show at BB King's. My cousin was like, I said to my cousin, I go, yo, I'm a comedian. But you say that loosely when you first start. I'm a comedian.
Right.
You don't say it now. I say it now with conviction. And he said, you a comedian? I said, yeah. He said, I'm going to put you on the show. I said, what show you going to put? BB King's, man. It's going to be 400 people there. It's going to be crazy. Like that. He even advertised it on the radio, set my name. I had no jokes. I didn't let him know that.
Not one joke.
Not one. Maybe I had something, a facsimile thereof.
Got you, yeah.
And the day of the show, I never forget it. Rip Michaels was the host, and Rip Michaels, even to this day, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And the closing act was Tony Roberts.
Oh, man.
No, this is right. And then they had
like
some
Tony
other
Roberts
features in there. And I was excited to be there. And I did what you did. Like now, you got your birthday coming up, and you had
January 30th is going down.
January
Shawn Harvey
30th,
hosting a birthday comedy show.
Yeah, and
thank you to him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Put me on the pedestal.
Oh, that's what we do. And you're excited. You got all your tickets, and I got about 30 tickets. I had my mom's there, sister, my immediate family, my kids, my both of my baby mothers was in the building. The people from the job, everybody, niggas from the block. I brought everybody to the show. Sold about 40 tickets.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I went up first.
Heart bumping, boom, 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 boom.
I had the fly outfit on.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever been on a flyer.
Yeah.
My mother still got that flyer on her refrigerator right now. It was in 2003. It was a long time ago, man.
Y'all did One Life Podcast. Shawn Harvey, you got it here first.
One Life Podcast. Shout out to everybody. And I went up first, and Sherry Shepherd. There was a bunch of folks on the show that day.
Yeah,
and they had us in the green room. I didn't even know what a green room was
at the time, right?
I didn't know what none of this was. I was in a whole different environment.
Right.
Remember, I was doing the St. Nick's pub and doing these little bars. Now I'm at a theater.
Yeah.
And Rip Michaels was the host, and I never forget it. He was so funny hosting the show. And then he called me on stage. And 2 minutes before he called me on stage, the reality set in. I was like, I'm gonna bomb. It's gonna happen.
You started getting nervous, the butterflies and everything.
My bomb was with me. For 3 years in comedy, my bomb would come with me to the show.
talking to you like
My
don't
mom
go-
like, you ready? My mom would come with me all over the place. At that time, I didn't know it.
You had to pray it off.
I didn't know it. That bomb was like, where we going tonight? And, and this particular night, I never forget it. My mother was right in the front stage. And I go on stage. Rip Michael calls me up. Everybody's clapping. I walk to the stage. I am so nervous. I can't even feel my feet touching the ground.
Ooh, yeah.
I grabbed the mic and
Nothing but cold air.
yo, I grabbed the mic. Everybody stopped and listened. I was like, hey, what's up, everybody? Blah, blah, blah. And after the hey, what's up, it went right down the tubes. And I bombed so bad. I bombed in front of 400 people. My mother was sitting there like, get him off the stage.
Do you remember anything you said that night?
Yeah.
One thing?
There might be some things I can remember, some things I can't.
Yeah.
I came out to a corny song. I did one corny joke that I did. I was like, it was like it was a play on the radio station. I do remember that part.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because Rip Michaels was ripping before he brought me on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the crowd right here.
Right.
And then I get on stage and I had the crowd right here.
Yeah.
And I bombed so bad. And the worst thing about bombing was there was people there that I knew, that I invited.
Right, yeah.
See, bombing is one thing. See, bombing, you could bomb in front of people you don't know. Just leave.
Yeah.
Done. But you're bombing in front of people that you know. Co-work. I went to work Monday. Everybody was snapping on me for like 6 months.
Right.
And my baby mother was like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And my mother was like, she goes, who's Tony Roberts? He's hilarious. And nobody showed me no love.
Right.
And it was heartbreaking for me.
It's like an embarrassment feeling.
It was so, I felt so embarrassed that literally for 7 years, I didn't bring nobody to the show.
Yep.
And I quit comedy for like 5 months. I quit. I told Smoke only got a jig and all. I said, I can't do this, bro. And I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Both of my baby mothers are fighting. Like, I bombed so bad, everybody started fighting.
What gave you the battery back?
I went to a show with Capone. Capone did a show on Fordham Road back in the day. And I walked in there and I saw Capone, man. God bless him. I forgot the name of the club. Anyway, it was Saturday night. This place was packed. It had a small stage and Capone was on stage, man, holding court. And I was looking at this dude like he was God. And I said to him, man, I said, yo, let me come back and do some minutes, man, next week with him. He said, yeah, come on. And I came back the next week and I went back on stage and I literally did 3 minutes on stage. I got 1-2 laughs and walked off the stage, and that gave me confirmation to jump back into the game.
Right there, yeah.
And that's how I got, and I've been back in the game ever since.
Amen, yeah.
Then I linked up with comedian talent, and everything's been
blessings.
So that's what got me into the game. So I will be honest, I bombed so bad, I took months off. I just didn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
And then but don't get me wrong, I continued to bomb.
Right.
But I was bombing for a purpose.
Right, yeah.
To become funny.
Exactly, yeah.
And then next thing you know, like, I started getting, instead of getting 1 or 2 laughs, I started getting 2 or 4 laughs, and 5 laughs.
Yeah.
And then the timing got shorter where I'm getting like a laugh every 30 seconds, a laugh every 10 seconds, a laugh every minute. Like, and it got to that point. Then that's when I gained the confidence.
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, I didn't quit.
Right.
Even though I had that bump in the road right there, I got right back up and I started all over again.
Right. Which
showed me, and which shows anyone in life, like, you don't have to quit what you're doing because you feel in your head that you're not a success at doing it.
Right.
Because sometimes we fall down, but we get up and we keep it pushing. That's
even stronger.
Right. And that's what comedy showed me, because comedy is therapeutic.
Right.
See, the one thing about stand-up that I've learned is that it's like an onion, and it peels. You peel the onion, you get to the core. That's what comedy's done for me. It gets you right to the core of your life, of who you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're in a vulnerable state on stage, and people are staring at you.
Yeah.
And they looking in your soul, and they're like, who is this dude?
Right.
And if they sense that fear, then it doesn't work out for you. So
Yeah.
So comedy has taught. I've learned about myself with doing stand up.
Right.
So it's therapeutic. It works both ways.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And when I first started doing comedy, I would go out there and like my strategy to get away from like not having material, like I didn't have material either, but I would do crowd work.
Yeah.
And I started with world famous Scotty. Shout out world famous Scotty.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And he would get on my ass. He'd be like, man, Scott, get off the crowd. Don't stand up there and just do all the crowd work. What's your opinion when it comes to crowd work and to upcoming new comics and stuff like that? Mixing it in, crowd work with your set, or starting off with the crowd work and then jumping into your set. How do you work with the crowd? Invite them in your set.
I think, first of all, I feel like I'm in motor vehicles right now. Trying to get my license back.
One life, baby.
Yeah, One Life podcast, man.
Yeah.
Feel like I'm trying to get some Trump money. I don't know what's going on here.
The crowd work.
Crowd work. So crowd work to me, which is weird. Like now some of the A-listers are doing crowd work in their sets for a little bit where it's like it's trending right now. But that's for like the elite comedians and stuff like my man Nate Jackson and all these Ari Spears and all these guys. They're doing crowd work in their sets, which I think was absolutely brilliant. Now, what crowd work is to me, like I said, I grew up old school and comedy. Crowd work is done by a seasoned comedian that know how to work the audience, that's been doing comedy a long time, where they can jump in and out of their sets and get into crowd work, or they're comfortable enough and receptive enough to the crowd and show the crowd love. Now, when you don't have the jokes, right, you bail out and you start talking about somebody in the crowd.
Right, boom.
Because you don't have nothing to say. That's basically what that is. But when you don't have nothing to say and you come off a little aggressive to the audience, it backfires on you. Because you got to remember that these people have spent their time and their money to not be picked on like that. And if you want to be picked on or have crowd work, like when I do crowd work and that's why
I don't mean to cut you off, but you do it really well.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I was gonna get to that question and say, like, when you hiking on crowd work, you getting on the crowd, it's almost like you got to invite them back to the show. Because sometimes you get on a person so heavy, man, look at that hat. You know what I'm saying? Look like your grandma put that together. But then you just leave them. You got to bring them back. You bring them back all the time. That's my brother right there. Yeah, I really like that hat.
Like I said, I just used the word receptive. Like if you're gonna do crowd work, you gotta do it with love. You got to do it. If you're looking at somebody and there's something obvious, you do it with love. Your sweater, man. Sweater. Got to throw that in the garbage. I need one of those sweaters. Like you get the sweater from, like,
but it caught your attention.
Like your wife, she made you put the sweater on that. Like so. You gotta, if you're gonna hike, snap, or on somebody, you gotta do it in a loving way. To me, you gotta do it in a loving way where they find it funny with themselves.
Right.
Like we did a show recently, guy had on some weird pants, kept snapping on the pants, and the wife had to, approve the pants and skateboard. Like with crowd work, it's gotta be done in a loving way.
Right.
To me. But a lot of times people do crowd work because they don't have the material.
Right.
So they substitute it by trying to snap on somebody in a crowd. And when you're not built for that life, it goes terribly wrong because you might come off angry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come off angry to folks.
Yeah.
And hecklers the same way. Like,
so you just took it out of my mouth.
Yeah, like hecklers is the same way. Like,
because Jody was there when I first got heckled for my first time, and it didn't go well because I let it get to me. And it was like my second year on stage and stuff, and I didn't know how to. I was trying to drift off, and he kept going, and threw my set off and shit.
Because you was done. He smelled the fear, and you got angry.
Yeah.
And shout out to
emotional,
you, man,
not even angry. Yeah,
you got angry. and shout out to Jody.
Like,
yo, Jody, man, shout out to you, bro.
The OG in the building. Yeah,
we got two OGs in here. We both got on sweatsuits.
Yeah,
and we both got arthritis in both our knees. Like heckling, like sometimes I don't get heckled. I'll be honest. I don't.
When you was first started?
The first, yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, now, yeah. Then, yes. Not now.
Right. So I'm talking.
But if that happens, you got to know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you got to think quick. on your head. You got to be. See, that's another thing about hosting, and you know, with the heckling thing. But with hosting, you got to think right off the top of your head, real quick, in the moment.
Right.
But you got to think fast. You got to think of location, the place. You got to think fast. Everything got to be fast. You can't think slow. When you think slow, it backfires on you. So with someone heckling or yelling out, a lot of times with me, I use a technique. I use like a reverse psychology.
Right.
You know, so a lot of times I hit people with listen. And sometimes they don't say things like you're not funny, whatever. They're just talking. They won't shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll say, listen. Sometimes just using psychology works. I said, listen, miss. It's always the ladies. And then sometimes it's the lady and they would the couple. They with the man.
Yeah.
So sometimes I say, sir, I don't, you know, if you don't mind, can you handle that? Because I don't want to say anything to your wife like you're here. And,
right. Yeah.
And then she, don't worry about him. No. So then I'll go, miss, listen, this is what I do for a living. Okay, whether if you respect that or not, this is what I do for a living. And you at my workplace. And miss, I just want you to take a moment to know that I can't come to your job and behave that way. So why do you come to my job and behave that way? So I tell you what, miss, Monday morning when you swipe your card, go to your desk and chill at peace, let me come to your job and pull my dick out and start wilding out on you.
Right.
How would that feel?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, they go, yeah, I understand. Because I can't come to your job.
Let me keep eating my food.
You can't come to my job and do that.
Right.
Especially if everybody's funny. But some people with the audience members, some audience members, they think it's all about them. That's what people
want to be a part of the show.
They want to be part of the show. So.
Right.
But once you got a clean show and you rocking, you rarely run into that.
Gotcha.
But when you run into it, you got to be ready for it. Because with stand-up, you got to be ready at all times. You know, audible could be thrown like you got to switch up.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen at a show. You better be ready.
Yeah.
For some shows. Some shows you got to be ready.
Ready to rock and roll.
Like Saving Private Ryan. You seen that movie Saving Private Ryan?
Nah, I heard of it.
Joe, you ever seen Saving Private Ryan? Yeah. And in the beginning of the movie, the opening scene of the movie, he's in the military, former military, never seen Private Ryan.
I probably did see it. That's what I'm saying. I probably did. It's an old movie.
And in the beginning of the movie, right, Joey? The first scene, they coming off the beachfront. They landing on the beach. And before they getting out these little boats, you see some of these men throwing up and just because they know they're going to die. Right, Jody? Am I making this up? As soon as they come off the beachfront, just snap a fire. And they got to get up to the hill or whatever they're trying to do. And that's what comedy is to me sometimes.
Right.
You got to run up the beachfront because you don't know what's coming at you.
Right.
But you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
You got to hit them with, you want to save Ryan.
Yeah.
Right? Because they saved Ryan at the end. But they ran up the beachfront.
Right.
So you got to use sniper fire.
Right.
For the crowd.
Come on there hot.
That's right.
I'm not scared of you motherfuckers.
That's right. You got to be.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, you just got. Yeah, you got to be. And that's another thing about comedy. A lot of stand-up comedians, they get so caught up in the job and in working and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we all got to earn, you know, money, whatever. And what happens is they forget about the funny, and it becomes technical.
Right.
Sometimes with us comedians, we forget to be funny and silly and laughing on stage.
Right.
Because it's a lot of pressure with stand-up. The next man or the next woman's hilarious.
Right.
This guy wants your spot. You can't control nothing but what you do on the stage. And sometimes if the audience see that you're having a good time, they'll have a good time.
They're going to vibe out with you.
So sometimes we, as comedians, we need to remember that. Like, what is our primary purpose? Is to make people laugh. But in making people laugh, we need to have a good time as well. Right. And we need to be silly, and we need to let our guards down and say, you know what? Let's have a good time tonight. Right. And the crowd will vibe off of that energy.
100%. I feel that.
Word up.
So here's my next question, right? So for an up-and-coming comic that's trying to make it into the big world, big screen, and he don't got the opportunity to be in the city every night, hitting the open mics back to back, you know what I'm saying? Like most of the big star comics or big name comics that got their name and they show right now. They was out there at the clubs all night. Now we in a social media era and stuff like that. What is your opinion on that as far as like, yo, if he can't get to the open mic nights back to back to get his practice, he only gets opportunities and he's on social media. How does that work? And he got to go to work, pay the bills. Because in order to chase a dream, your bills got to be paid. You know what I'm saying? So how does that work? What's the everybody's strategy and route? It's no blueprint.
Right. Listen.
Entertainment.
When I started comedy, I had a day job. You know what I'm saying? And I was working, until I, was able to start doing stand up. You know what I'm saying? And that took years.
Right.
Comedy professionally for 13 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in those first years, I had my job and I had to work. And then during that journey, I was single like you.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to go through the struggling phases of stand-up.
Amen. Yep.
Because thank God I wasn't in a relationship at that point because there was nobody getting no money.
Friction. Yeah. Yep.
We had $100 here, $200 there.
Free drinks.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not good for a relationship. So if you're in a relationship,
chasing a dream,
and you chasing your dream, keep your job. Like you said, and make sure your bills are paid, and then let nature take its course.
The opportunities and the moments.
Now with a new comic, and remember I'm an old school comic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always go the old school way and dab a little bit of today's method into it. So what's the old school way? You got to find a way. You got to be on stage as much as you can because you could do a lot of social media and you could be funny on social media. And thank God to all the content creators on social media. I think it's amazing. And some of these content creators, they do stand up and they employ comedians like me to go on their shows.
Right.
Because the content creator is not. Sometimes some of them are not true stand-ups.
Right.
A lot of people come out to see them.
Like Drewski.
Right. Some of them come out to see them because of the content,
right.
Which is a great thing because it keeps the comedy clubs open. So their followers could come see them. So if it keeps the comedy clubs open in venues, that allow us to continue to work as well.
So
I always show love to the content creators that are doing a thing out there. But at the same time, in doing organic stand-up, you have to do like with anything else. You have to practice it. You have to be on stage 2-3 times a week, 4 times a week if you can, all the time. You have to be involved in stand-up comedy to get funny at stand-up comedy.
Right.
To me, there's no other way around it. Now, yeah, you could go on social media. You could be funny, get the followings up. That's cool too.
And watch your OGs.
Yeah, oh yeah, and watch
footage.
Record yourself. That's a good idea. Record yourself. Write your jokes down.
And now
all of that goes into the organic funny. See, remember, I'm an old school stand up.
Yeah,
so it's different from
right.
today's comedians, which they are thriving, and I'm happy for them. But at the end of the day, back to the Saving Private Ryan, it's the organic stand-up comedian that always endured the test of time.
Right.
The stand-up, that guy or that woman. And speaking of women in comedy, I want to show some love to all my sisters in comedy.
Shout out all the women
that
in
are
comedy.
Funny.
Right.
There are some women in comedy that I know, I'm like, oh, hell no. I got to follow that. And all these comedians that I'm talking about that are funny, it all came the organic way of just stage.
And when you say you got to follow that, meaning like they sucked or they was mad good?
They're funny. See, that's the thing.
Gotcha.
Now, that's where the level of comedy I'm at now, where it's immune to me. I'm immune to it because I really don't have any feelings about it.
Yeah.
But every night, I got to follow somebody that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Every night.
And that's like when I was boxing. You get in there with a warrior,
yeah,
and it sharpens your blade.
Yeah, every night. And I love it. At first, I was nervous about it, or maybe this is not the spot for me, or why do they got me? Like sometimes you question yourself, why you got me closing out the show? Why you didn't close out? Closing meaning the last comedian.
Yeah.
And sometimes they like the last comedian is the funniest comedian. And I've embraced that. You know, so a lot of my coworkers and my peers, and that's another thing before we go, because what time is that?
Yeah, we about to close it up. Yeah, 45
Here's the most gratifying feeling that I have for stand-up. God bless Jody. God, you know, Jody's a comedian. He already know. God bless the audience that come out for stand-up and laugh, and we make folks laugh. And what a gratifying feeling. And we are all blessed. I know I am.
Yeah, amen.
But one of the most gratifying feelings in stand-up, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, is you get the respect from your coworkers.
Amen.
From your peers.
Yeah.
And that's with anything in life.
Any sport, right?
Any sport, any occupation. When your coworkers, whether they like you or not, hey, you can do the job.
Yeah. That's a great feeling.
Sean, he's doing the job.
Yeah.
Or I look at one of my coworkers, or because I book shows too. I book comedy, I hire comedians, and I know that dude or that woman's gonna do the job. That's the ultimate respect for me with stand-up comedy, knowing that whether the comedian want to book you or not, they don't like your style or whatever it is, but they know that you funny and they respect the fact that you grinding in the game. That's one of the most ultimate gratifying feelings for a comedian like me.
Yeah, that's dope right there.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't always the case, because you had to grind. You had to get to that point.
Yeah.
And right. And even when I was bombing back in the day, they were like, "Oh, here goes Shawn again." But you would never think that, because you see the polished act.
Yeah.
You would never think that years back I was bombing and and comedians be like, "Oh my God, here comes Shawn. Give him his 5 minutes.
Right.
Give him his 3 minutes."
Right.
But they knew that I was there to learn and grow.
Yep.
And then it takes on this natural course.
You get your
that
shots.
respect. And then now you're respected in the game.
Yep.
And then you open up for Mike Epps and the Tommy Davidsons and the Marlon Wayans and the Mike Blacksons and all of them. They're like, "Yo, come open up for me."
Yeah.
That's the ultimate respect. And that's one of those things that you strive for. And that's in any occupation.
Right.
And that's what stand-up is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Shout out to my stand-up comedians out there.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up.
And comedy is regional.
Yeah, it is.
It's regional.
Global,
so you got
regional.
you got folks, you got the East Coast comedy and New York, Philly, Jersey.
Yeah.
Then you got the down south comedians, and then you got the Midwest comedians, and you got the comedians in Chicago, comedian LA, and in the northwest part of the country. So comedy is regional.
Right.
And then, if you can cross over that line, then you become national.
Yeah.
Where you can go back and forth and all of that.
Yeah.
But comedy basically is regional. That's why I always ask folks, like, come out and support stand-up.
Yeah.
At the local level. Because that's where that funny's at.
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks, they go to
expensive shows.
They go to top tier shows, and not to knock none of the top artists, the top tier comedians, but sometimes they have a better time at the local restaurant,
right,
or that local venue where we turning up that funny.
Yep. Okay, so last question, last two questions. Yeah, and I feel that too. Last two questions. What do you like better doing, hosting or closing?
I like to close out or feature or be the book.
Because you do great at hosting.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a modest dude, so I don't
you keep the crowd hot, and you keep keep
thank
the energy
you.
Up
so that's years of experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you see there. What you see when you see me hosting. That's years of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a pure stand-up, so I want to be on the front lines. You host, I close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm hosting, you host.
And what is the difference between you hosting and you having your set? Is there any difference?
Yeah, one difference is you got them in your world completely. When you're doing a set. Now you're telling your story. And what's the challenge? The challenge is the story to be identifiable to the crowd.
Right.
Regardless of what the crowd is. And making them laugh. So that's and on top of that, remember there's comedians before you, so there's a whole nother point of view.
Right.
So you got to have a different point of view, and that's the challenge. But bringing them into their world, that's what is more gratifying for me for doing a set. So I would rather do a set.
Yeah.
But hosting is fine too. But
Right.
I would rather, to answer your question, doing a set.
And I feel like,
Because doing a set keeps you sharp.
right, yeah.
Because hosting, you could get lazy hosting.
That's what I was about to get at, because I was like, when I host, it gives me more opportunity to say, okay, hold on, I'm gonna use this joke right now. Then I rest real quick. Then I come back out and talk a little shit and rest real quick.
Yeah.
When you do your set, you gotta just bang, bang, bang,
Yep.
bang, 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 bang.
Yep, you got to bang them out. And you could tell how good your jokes are when you follow somebody that's funny.
Yeah.
That's why another thing with comedians, since we're talking comedy, on your
One Life
on your
Podcast.
One Life. Shout out to One Life Podcast. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Shawn Harvey Wonder Show real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But before we leave, we got what, 9
Mhm.
minutes, right?
You good?
So, what I say, hosting.
Yeah.
Oh,
In closing.
what I was saying was one of the barometers of your level of funny, you could tell how funny you are, Jody, when you have to go on after a comedian who's funny. You get it?
Yeah.
You have to go on after a comedian that's funny, and it will reveal how funny you are.
Right.
And what changes you need to make to get to that level of funny.
Yeah.
And I went through that for years. And that's something that comedians need to go to, because sometimes with comedians get in a safe zone. The safe zone is, I go first, second, third. First, second, third. Second, third.
Yeah, I never
Second,
cared.
second, third.
Yeah.
First, third. Second, third. Second, third. First, second. And those are great spots for a comedian for a certain level.
Mhm.
But after a while, even the comedian, because I've even done it early in my career, where I would go in the room and tell the host, let me follow this comedian. And the host would look at me like, crazy. Nah, let me do it anyway, bro.
Yeah.
Let me do it
Challenging
anyway,
yourself, right.
just to challenge yourself. So I think that's one thing that's also, when you get to that level of funny, stop being in a safe zone. Stop going up first and second. Going after the beasts. Going after those women that's going to rip the room. Going after the men that's going to tear the room up. Because only thing to do, you might not be as funny, but it'll lead you to a path of getting there.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope right there. So one question I love to ask all my talented guests that come on the One Life Podcast.
Yeah.
This One Life Podcast with Shawn Harvey.
One life.
Yeah. What is some great advice that you could give the world, the followers, the viewers watching, those out there chasing their success in this one life? What is some great advice that you could give them?
I think, like, off the top of my head, I think be kind. I think kindness goes a long way.
Right.
I think kindness is like the bridge to respect. I think that if you're kind and receptive at anything that you do, it opens up a whole world of opportunities. Because you don't want to come into a situation being rude. It turns off people.
Rude and arrogant, right?
Right. I think kindness in its most humblest form will get you the opportunity to where someone will listen to you and maybe take an opportunity to vision your dream.
Right.
So I think kindness, we have to be more kind to each other.
Right.
And I say that because we all in a competitive business.
Sport, right? Yeah.
Sports, business.
Yep.
It doesn't mean stand up. It could be anything that you do in life.
Fields, yeah.
But I think that if you're kind, you'll be more receptive. Now, there's other things in life. Of course, you got to be focused. You got to learn. You got to do all these things in life. I get it. But I think kindness is one of those bridges and one of those conduits that'll get you where you need to be. So I would say the word of the day would be kind. Be kind of yourself. And be kind of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't even love ourselves.
The One Life Podcast.
One Life Podcast. Be kind and love yourself.
That's right.
Take a moment to do that. Thank God for Jesus.
And do it for the family. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank God. One life. Thank you for coming
That's
through,
it?
Shawn Harvey. Yes, sir.
Hey, yo, man.
Thank you for coming through, and thank you for being like I want to give you your flowers, man. Thank you for being such a great OG to me. You know what I'm saying? In the game, a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Because what I've experienced through this comedy game and just business, and same thing with OG Jody over here. He's been a genuine OG.
Yeah, shout out to Jody.
Because
man.
Jody, Shawn Harvey, shout out Scotty. You know what I mean? This is Shawn Harvey's segment.
Yeah,
I just want to shout out all the great people because you bring out that the great people, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That to me, you know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to get at is you guys gave me my flowers before it was even time to give me flowers and let me know and give me opportunity and tell me, yo, you keep going. Like you
just
got
like
this.
the last show we did, right? We was at the Cigar Lounge, Joey, and I said to Todd, I'm like, yo, bro, relax. Calm down. Because every time he go on stage, he look like he in parking violations.
I be in my zone when I get
And that's how I said, smile, bro. Like, relax.
He did, yeah.
And I said, Todd, tonight, have some fun. We was just talking about it.
Fun,
we was just talking about have some fun. Do 5 minutes.
Yeah, and he did it.
I said, do 5 minutes.
But you held me. You
Right. And he got up there, Jody, and God bless him. He listened. He had fun. He did the 5 minutes.
But you directed me because I
he
would have
got the laughs. He got the laughs. And then his laughs reached the crescendo. I said, get off the stage, bro.
You gave me the light.
Because I don't want you to kill yourself. You're good. And he said good night, and that's what you heard.
Yeah.
And he smiled.
Yeah.
So again,
Mentorship, yeah.
right. Kindness and unconditional love. Because somebody did it for me.
Yeah.
Somebody, what I do with you, it is me.
Yeah, it's a recycle.
You
effect.
can't keep it unless you give it away.
Right. The blessings go through us.
That's right.
Amen. One Life Podcast, Shawn Harvey. There you have it.
You already know.
The One Life
Thank you for
Podcast.
coming
One
through.
Life
Love.
Podcast.
Love, another one. Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and I got to come Shawn Harvey Morning Show. He got the
Yes.
Shawn Harvey Morning Show going.
Yes, I got my podcast. It's called the Shawn Harvey Morning Show, featuring the Wake Up Team. 8 years running, man. Y'all join me Monday, Thursday, and Friday is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, man, and all other social platforms. Join me. It's where you get your morning started, right? Shawn Harvey Morning Show, Wake Up Team. Monday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Let's go.
Let's go. Now, and last question, we're going to get the fuck out of here. People
right.
probably ask you all the time, do you have any relations to Steve Harvey?
Right, I get that all the time.
Because y'all got the same ear structure. If you take the
Every
headphones
time.
off, all this shit.
Every time. My mother calls me Steve.
You ever met Steve? Like,
Never met him, and I'm not related to him. But you got to understand, there's been times in my career.
I'm Todd Lawrence, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I tell him Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
What's
Hey,
up?
Jody, don't get me wrong. There's been times in my career where I wanted to lie. Chicks be coming like, you're related to Steve. I'd be like, no.
Right.
So for the record, no, I'm not. But shout out to Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Go tap into the Shawn Harvey Morning Show.
You
yo.
already know.
Shawn Harvey, go ahead.
Social media is Shawn Harvey. That's SHAWN. That's the old school way of spelling Shawn, not the SEAN and all these others. There's no LaShawn, Tyshawn, Quyshawn, Dyshawn. There's none of those other extra Shawns. Just Shawn.
Shawn Harvey.
Shawn Harvey on Facebook, comedian Shawn Harvey on Facebook. Harv Funny, that's HARV Funny on Instagram. Harv Funny. Follow your boy.
Yeah. And you'll see us working as long as he's alive, taking his vitamins and sticking with us. He gonna be on a tour bus and riding around the whole globe with us, man. Shawn Harvey, One
Shout
Life
out to Jody,
Podcast.
my
Love,
man.
my brother.
Yeah,
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt. Appreciate y'all.
The real niggas in the building.
Let's
today.
go.
One life.
Let's do it.
Keep chasing your dreams. Keep doing it for your family, man. You only get one life to do this shit. Take off. Let's go global. We out. My nigga. Yeah, my producer, he gonna bleep out the nigga part.
I like the way he said
He Jehovah
that.
Witness and shit. That's my
that's
guy.
funny.
Shout out Johnny Unitas, man.
Yo, Johnny Unitas, man. Keep those books going.
Yeah, he a voice actor and shit.
Yo, keep knocking on them doors.
Yeah. You know who do Donkey and Shrek, Eddie Murphy and them? He do the shit like that. Yeah, so
Keep knocking on the doors.
he behind the camera. Yeah,
No doubt.
Yeah, ha ha. Johnny, love you, man.
Yo, Johnny, I love much love. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah,
Keep knocking
one
on the
life. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, Harv Nice in the place to be. 60 years old.
And he's in the building with us today.
Taking medication for my knees.